Hello, this is Mrs. Foy, and today we're going to learn about histogram. And at the end of the lesson, you will be able to create a histogram, describe the key features of a histogram. You'll be able to look at a histogram and interpret the data represented there, and you can explain what questions could not be answered from a histogram. So sometimes we want to look at ranges of data. In this example, we're looking at price ranges, and we have video game prices for videos in a store. And we can see you've got quite a range of numbers, but as they're presented like this, it's hard to answer a question like what's a typical price range of video games? If I have $25 to spend, would I have a good selection of games to choose from? So we can arrange the data in histograms to make it easier to answer these questions. So our first step is to create a frequency table. You're familiar with this from dot plots and bar graphs. So create your frequency table first. And in this frequency table, what's different is we're organizing the data into ranges. So instead of having 60 represented a couple of times, it's there twice, and having 24 represented once, and having lots of rows in the in the frequency table, we organize them into ranges of 25. So 1 to 25, there are two in that range, the $24 one and the $23 one. And then in the $26 to $50 range, there are six. You can look through the data here, and so on. Then once we have our frequency table, we can create the histogram. And here we have the data in ranges, just like on the frequency table. Something to note, there are no spaces between the bars on a histogram because the price ranges are right up to each other, 1 to 25 and then 26 to 50. There are no spaces between the bars. And we see we have a title, we have our ranges here, and we have our frequency here, the number of games in this price range. So now we can answer our questions. What's a price range for video games? So they're between $0 and $100, typically between $25 and $75, somewhere in the middle here. And if I have $25 to spend, would I have a good selection of games to choose from? Well, there's two games in that price range, two games less than $25, so that's not really a good selection to choose from. Questions which cannot be answered. How much does the least expensive game cost? We know it costs between $0 and $25, but we don't know precisely how much it costs because the data is in ranges of data. Likewise, is there a game which costs exactly $75? We don't know. There's a price range of $50 to $75, but we don't know if any of the games in there cost exactly $75. And of the 7 games in the $50 to $75 range, are they all around the same price? We don't know. We can't see the details. So what data is represented here? We're looking at heights of black cherry trees. The ranges are in 5 feet, 60 to 65 feet, 65 to 70 feet, and so on. And we can see the number of trees in each range. Questions which cannot be answered from this histogram is how tall is the tallest tree? Because they're in ranges, we know that the tallest trees are between $75 and $80 or 80 feet, but we don't know exactly how tall it is. And is there a tree which is exactly 60 feet tall? We don't know. There's a tree in that range, but we don't know exactly the tallest one.